In the previous chapters, we dealt with single integrals. Now we go to multiple integrals. So this is the form of a single integral. So if we're going to put another pair of limits and another integration symbol, and aside from the x, we put dy, meaning our integrand contains x and y as the variables. So it's now called a multiple integral. If we're going to write dy first before dx, so there's another form of a multiple integral, okay, specifically double integrals. Supposing we have this function containing x and y, and if we are going to just get a single integral. So x is the variable of integration, meaning we keep y fixed when performing the integration. So the value of the integral is dependent on the value of y that is plugged into the variables, okay, or the y. And then if we're going to integrate this function, assuming that this is continuous at a given range of y values or set of limits, then we can have a what we call iterated integral. So you integrate first and then integrate again, okay, if we have a double integral. So if there are two variables, so we can have a double integral. So we can remove the brackets here, leading to these two integral symbols. So we can also have our initial function that is integrated as y as a variable of integration, meaning x is fixed when performing the integration. So the value of the integral would be a pure x function, and if this is continuous at a given set of values, x values, then we can integrate with respect to x. So again, these are examples of what we call iterated integrals. So examples of multiple integrals, right? So iterated integrals can also be termed repeated integrals or successive integrals. Here's an example. So since we have a dy here, so meaning y is our variable of integration. So we are going to keep x as fixed, or we treat x as a constant. So we copy the outer limits first and then integrate x squared dy with x as a constant. So that's x squared times integral of dy, which is y, plus the integral of y squared dy, or that's y cubed over 3. And then we are going to evaluate using x squared for the lower limit and 2x for the upper limit. And integrate later with x as the variable of integration. So we plug in the limits. Instead of writing y, we write 2x first for the upper limit. And then instead of writing y, we write 2x. So y cubed over 3 becomes 2x quantity cubed over 3. And then for the lower limit, that's x squared. So x squared times x squared plus x squared quantity raised to the power of 3 over 3. And then we'll integrate later with x as the variable of integration. So we combine similar terms first, multiply x squared and 2x, so that's 2x cubed plus that's 8x cubed over 27 minus x to the power of 4 for x squared times x squared. And this is x to the power of 6 over, okay, so this is only over 3, only y should be squared. So this is not 27, sorry, so that should be over 3 only. So over 3 only. And for this one, so we're going to distribute the negative sign. So that's minus x to the power of 6 over 3. Evaluate with x is the variable. After evaluating using the limits here, it should result to a pure x function. All right. So now we integrate with respect to x. So that's 2x to the power of 4 over 4. Or we can combine first these two since they are x cubed terms. So we can get the LCD, which is 3, and then 3 divided by 1 times 2x cubed. So that's 6x cubed, and then plus 8x cubed minus x to the power of 4 minus x to the power of 6 over 3. So continue here. So let's combine first 6 and 8. So that's 14x cubed over 3 minus x to the power of 4 minus x to the power of 6 over 3. You can combine the two, the three rather terms, get the LCD, okay, factor out whatever is, pwede ma-factor out, but that's an option that you can do, okay? Or just integrate each term. So that's 14x to the power of 4 over 3 times 4, right? Or that would be f over 4, so 14 over 4, so it's 7 over 2. 7 over 2 times 3, so 607 over 6. 7x to the power of 4 over 6 minus x to the power of 5 over 5 minus x to the power of 7 over 7. And there's 3 here, so over 21. And evaluate from 0 to 2. So using the upper limit, so we have 2 to the power of 4 over 6 minus 2 to the power of 5 over 5 minus 2 to the power of 7 over 21. And minus 0. So you don't need to write the plugging in of 0 to the three terms. All right, so we have 7 times 2 to the power of 4, that's 16 over 6 to the power of 5, that's 32, and then over 5, and to the power of 7, so it's 32 times 2, or 64 times 2, so 128 over 21. So we have a common factor here, 7 and or 16 and 6. So common is 2. So this is 8 over 3. Okay, 8 over 3, or that's 56 over 3 minus 32 over 5 minus 128 over 21. So we can combine all the fractions. If you're allowed to use a calculator, then you can have a calculator here on this part. Or pwede dire, no? As long as the limits are having already fixed values. So going back to this one, so the LCD for 3, 5, and 21. So that's 21 times 15. Or 21 has a common factor with 3. 7 times 3 is 21. So 21 is the least common multiple for 3 and 21. So it's just 21 times 5. Okay, or that's 105 divided by 3. So that's 35 times 56. So 35 times 56, 30 times 50. So that's 150. Okay, and then I'll just, it's 1,500 and not 150. Okay, and then 50 times or 5 times 6. Okay, or it's 1960 for 35 times 56. And then 105 divided by 5, that's 21 times 32, 672. Okay, and then minus 128. Okay, so this is not minus 128. So it's 105 divided by 21. Okay, so it's 105 divided by 21. So that's 5 times 128. So that's 640. 648 over 105 in simplest form. So that's 216 over 35. So the value of the iterated integral is 216 over 35. So we have here an example of a triple integral. So we start with x as the variable of integration. So we copy the first two integration symbols with the limits. And we start with integral of 2xy squared sine theta. So first is, okay, so let me put brackets first. So it's going to be, start with this. So 2x sine theta is the constant expression, right? Okay, sorry. So we start with the x pala. So 2y squared. So it's 2y squared sine theta, constant, and then x dx. Okay, multiply to the constant. So dy d theta outside. So for dx, okay, so we now integrate this part here. So we have the constant times integral of x dx is x squared over 2. So that's 2y squared sine theta times x squared over 2. So we evaluate from 0 to 2y. And then later differentiate or integrate rather with respect to y and then with respect to theta. So let's simplify first. So we have a common factor here, which is 2. So it's y squared, x squared, or let's arrange it alphabetically, x squared, y squared sine theta. Evaluate later from 0 to 2y. So meaning, instead of writing x, okay, we write 2y from the upper limit. So it's going to be 2y squared sine theta minus 0 squared y squared sine theta. Alright, so the second expression is equal to 0. So for the first expression, so that's 4 y squared times y squared. So 4y to the power of 4 sine theta. Okay, dy d theta. So after integrating with x as the variable of integration, so the number of variables are now reduced to 2. Okay, so the result should contain only y and theta and no more x. So next is we're going to integrate. Okay, y is the variable of integration. So let's put 4 sine theta here, the constant, and then integrate y to the power of 4 dy. Later, d theta. Okay, so that's in the constant, and then times integral of y to the power of 4 is y to the power of 5 over 5. We evaluate from 0 to 2 before integrating with theta as the variable of integration. So we can write this as 4/5 sine theta multiplied by y to the power of 5. So y is 2, so that's 2 to the power of 5 minus 0 to the power of 5. So we are factoring out 4/5 sine theta. 4/5 sine theta para ma-focus on y. Okay, so we evaluate with theta later. So simplifying, that's 2 to the power of 5 or 32. Okay, over 5 times 4, 32 times 4 is 128. Okay, so that's 128 over 5 sine theta d theta. So integrating, so we can put the constant outside, and then integral of sine theta is negative cosine theta. So we evaluate from 0 to pi over 2. So plugging in, so we can put the negative sign here, and then cosine theta. So we start with cosine of pi over 2 minus cosine of 0. Okay, sorry. Okay, hala. Okay. So that's cosine of 0. Okay, cosine, hala. Okay, so let me write these two lines again. Okay, so that's 128 over 5 times negative cosine theta from 0 to pi over 2. It's negative 128 over 5, and then times cosine of pi over 2 minus cosine of 0. So that would be cosine of pi over 2, or cosine of 90 degrees. Okay, is actually 0, minus cosine of 0 is 1. So we have our final answer. Okay, that's positive 128 over 5. So just put the answer here. This is the final answer.